A ship has left Tordenskjold after a larger operation. There are heavy seas and strong winds in the area. It is 6 a.m. and the night shift is over. 3 of the crew leave the afterdeck where they had been working. They walk along the port side of the vessel toward the living quarters where breakfast is waiting. As they walk past one of the deck cranes, a large wave crashes over the port side. It comes with such a force that the men lose their footing and slide across the deck. This incident results in 2 people being sent to the nearest hospital in a search and rescue helicopter. Man, it was totally insane. We were really heeling over and it was hard to keep our balance, and then this huge wave crashed over the side and threw us to the deck. I got out of the hospital the same day with some stitches in the back of my head and a broken rib. Because of this accident, I was off work for a week. I was walking in front and got the full force of the wave right in my face. I don't remember anything after I hit the deck. It was only luck that I wasn't thrown overboard. Yeah. We were lucky that none of us were thrown overboard. I was walking behind the other 2 and saw them fall right in front of me. I managed to catch myself as I fell, so I made out better than the other guys. I mean, I've been in heavy seas before, and it wasn't much worse than it usually is in that area. After the incident, the 2 who were taken to hospital suffered from sore bodies and muscles, as well as minor shock from the incident. The incident is categorized as personnel injury resulting in time off work, but this incident had the potential to be horrifically worse. A wave crashes over the side. That happens. It's not something we can do anything about. Or is it? How can we avoid accidents caused by the forces of nature? What is the cause of this incident? Simply speaking, it is the weather and the heavy seas that caused the men to fall and injure themselves. Why did they walk up the port side on their way to the accommodation area? Did they have to walk up the port side when the wind and the waves were like that? Perhaps these questions seem a little basic, but they point to the most common cause of injuries and serious incidents on board. We shall never act without considering the risk. In this instance, the waves were unpredictable and threw 3 of the crew to the deck. Consider why this kind of accident happens. Think about how easy it is to avoid this kind of accident. To keep this kind of incident from happening again, it is important that we know how to behave in unsafe weather conditions. We shall not work on the deck or cross the deck when weather and wave conditions are unfavorable. If, for some reason, you have to go on deck in heavy seas, use a safety harness. Be critical when you consider the importance of going on deck in unfavorable weather conditions. In many cases, you can wait until later. A significant contributing factor to this incident was that the company and the vessel did not have a policy or known routines for foul weather operations. In other words, the company must provide us with guidance as to what is expected of us. This is what we call an adverse weather policy. The skipper is responsible for safe operations on board. If the vessel's heading does not allow us to continue working, we have 2 options. Change course to allow work to continue. Continue on the same heading and stop some specific work on board. There will always be many factors to consider when working in rough weather conditions. Remember that we shall always evaluate situations that can be problematic in heavy seas. For instance, work on scaffolding, work at height, work on deck, work over open sea, etc. What advice would you give to the company and the crew to keep this incident from happening again? Discuss solutions for what you would have done. After the incident, they set up an investigation committee, made a thorough evaluation of the chain of events, and outlined improvement measures for the future. Firstly, they established general regulations for how to behave on deck in foul weather. Then, they defined limitations for areas where personnel shall not be during such bad weather. They also improved the markings on the ship's gangways. To help prevent the crew from being washed overboard, the entrance to the gangway was renovated so that it wouldn't present a hazard under pressure. The most important measure, however, was to provide the crew with training and support to stop working when the weather causes unsafe working conditions. Also, an adverse weather policy was implemented. Our work is never so important nor so urgent that we don't have time to do it safely.